I think Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, we have taken initiative. We have taxed our NADMO unit. We have gone round. Today, we're supposed to meet for the report.
And so when they meet for that report, we bring you details of that. Christopher, what has been the reaction from residents, though?
Yes, so residents have applauded the assembly for stamping its foot in this demolition exercise. They have also implored government to support the philanthropist or the contractor who has taken it upon himself to ensure that the Vitin electoral area gets a share of development, that government should support the contractor. There are other projects that are yet to be attended to. Government should award it either to the contractor or to another person to be able to do the work. Let's take a listen to what the residents have been saying.
Actually, we have 3 major problems within our target neighborhood. Water problem. As I'm standing here, for the past 1.5 years, we don't know where water flows in 2 pipes. Number 2, our drainage system is terrible. Like if you have time, within that township, it's terrible. Lorries cannot even move. Then the third one is about our lighting system. I'm of the view, I'm ignorant, but I'm of the view that our transformer is below capacity to accommodate the people around target neighborhood. So that is why our major issue. However, there have been an attempt by the contractor to help. Unfortunately, I don't know whether by divine or natural tendencies, almost around the area has been worked on, with the reception of a small portion, which is left to be the drainage and the roads to be worked on. So as such, we are just pleading with the contractor to come to our aid. He has done a lot, and we still need more. I'm believing that if he's able to work on target, at least we'll be happy.
When you can see the roads, even when it was not done, water was washing away, the whole place was getting flooded. But now, currently, the drains have been made. It has made the place very nice to us. So we are still appealing to him to continue the good work he's doing to us. And the contractor, we are giving all the community, even the chiefs are aware of my pledge to support or to even look for more support to come and cover the rest of the road. That's
our appreciation all. But God give him long life and prosperity. Vitim community, and this is the beginning. God, he give him long life and.
Right, so Christopher, we've heard from the residents as well as the. Well, we have lost my colleague, Christopher Mark. He was talking to us about some developmental project scheduled to happen in the Vitin community and how the residents are responding to this policy or this project expected to happen in that community. This is the midday news on 3FM 92.7. Let me take you to Parliament because the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, says government is far advanced in plans to procure birds for members of Parliament to encourage them to venture into poultry farming as part of efforts to boost the sector. Appearing before Parliament's Committee on Assurances, the minister said the initiative forms part of government in Kokon Kitenkete program aimed at increasing local poultry production. Let's listen to him.
I will soon table a proposal before Parliament for consideration. If Parliament agrees, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture will support all parliamentarians to go into poultry production. Even though I'm calling it a proposal, plans are far advanced. The ministry is procuring some quantity of birds, mainly for members of Parliament. As soon as the birds are ready, we then distribute them to the various places for members of Parliament to be in that business. Because we think that when it comes to capacity to scale up, you can do it. We only have to stimulate the interest in you. And I must say that it's a very viable project. I'm a poultry farmer myself. I started not long ago. And Mr. Chairman, if you know what I know, you would have run to be part of that process. As we speak, about 67% of MPs in Ghana are all farmers. And so when you see people in ties and you think that they are only making money from Parliament, you are deceiving yourself.
Agric Minister Eric Opoku there, and if you want to know what the minister knows, you should run and enter into poultry production. Before we go, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Yakubu Adu, says the hospital is making steady progress in addressing some of its long-standing infrastructure challenges. He reveals that key among the interventions are the replacement of 40 lifts and efforts to resolve the hospital's unstable power supply. Dr. Adu made the remarks during the commissioning of the hospital's new cardiac catheterization laboratory at Kolebu. Let's listen to him. Well, we apologize. We'll bring you Dr. Adu Adam's audio in our subsequent bulletins. But that will be it for the media news on 3FM 92.7. It came to you live from our studios here at Adisawe Kanda, Accra. Log on to 3news.com and get some more stories. My name is Grace Hammoah Agyemang, and your Nam Haliga is standing by to bring us the latest in the world of business. Good afternoon.
3FM 92.7, Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. Coming up this afternoon, Ghana overhauls telecom sector by ending the 5G monopoly to safeguard digital economy and accelerate national technological innovation. Also in this bulletin, the Bank of Ghana reports decline in banking sector fraud cases as banks strengthening controls, but warns of new digital products still posing as emerging risk.
New and emerging products are areas where we see a lot of vulnerabilities because it takes a while for customers to really become well acquainted with the product.
Meanwhile, fraud declines in specialized deposit sector, but rural banks carry 90% of cash theft exposure. Details of our headlines and other stories, please stay with us. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I am Enyunam Haliga. We'll go on to a first story now where Ghana has officially ended its exclusive wholesale 5G infrastructure module in a sweeping policy shift aimed at rescuing the country from stagnant network deployment. The decision is revoked the exclusion concession previously held by state-backed Next-Gen Infraco follows a collapse of the confidence driven by poor rollout of numbers. There's more in the following three business reports.
The single provider module managed to deliver only a fraction of its infrastructure targets, forcing regulators to pivot toward an open competitive auction process. This upcoming spectrum auction will determine market power in the digital economy for the next decade. Because 5G technology will heavily influence everything from fintech expansion and artificial intelligence adoption to telemedicine and cloud services, the stakes extend far beyond basic telecom profits. However, industry experts warn that the replacement framework must be structured with extreme care. While a competitive process can accelerate deployment and attract crucial investment, a poorly designed auction could simply reinforce existing market dominance or leave consumers facing high cost and limited choice. Policymakers face the critical task of balancing long-term digital competitiveness against the temptation of short-term government revenue maximization.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on Ghana overhauling telecom sector by ending the 5G monopoly to safeguard the digital economy and accelerate national technological innovation. Now, moving on away from that, Director of Financial Stability Department at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kwesi Osei-Yeboah, says the banking industry is making significant progress in combating fraud. According to him, incidents are beginning to fall as institutions strengthen safeguards to protect depositors. Speaking at a media sensitization program on the Central Bank's 2025 fraud report, he cautioned that newly introduced financial products remain vulnerable to the abuse and stressed that the report is intended to inform and empower customers rather than cause harm.
Once we start presenting the numbers, you will see that now we begin to see fraud incidents within the banking sector beginning to go down. I must also say that when we interrogate the data, we realize that new and emerging products are areas where we see a lot of vulnerabilities because it takes a while for customers to really become well acquainted with the product and how they can safely utilize some of the banking products. We also realize that during times of severe stress within the broader economy, that is where you see people being more assertive in trying to use fraudulent means to enrich themselves.
And you heard the voice of the Director of Financial Stability Department at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kwesi Osei-Yeboah. Now to some other stories. While overall fraud across Ghana's specialized deposit-taking institution dropped sharply by 47% in 2025, rural and community banks remain dangerously exposed to persistent cash suppression schemes. Now, according to the Bank of Ghana's 2025 fraud report, total sector incident fell from over 300 to 200 cases, signaling a positive shift in the regulatory oversight. Take a listen to this report.
Despite this broad improvement, cash suppression, where staff pocket deposits without logging them into the system, remains the dominant threat to grassroots banking. Alarmingly, rural and community banks accounted for over half of all recorded cash theft cases and shouldered a staggering 90% of the financial exposure, which reached nearly 2 million cedis. This high concentration threatens financial inclusion as these institutions serve as a primary formal financial gateway for farmers, traders and small businesses who rely heavily on fiscal transactions and personal trust. Industry analysts warned that boards must treat this as a systemic governance failure rather than isolated staff misconduct. To protect public confidence, the central bank recommends immediate reforms, including independent daily reconciliations, mandatory staff rotations, and stricter prosecution of offending officers.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has clamped down on Electrochem Ghana Limited, completely sealing off the company's administrative block due to outstanding tax debt totaling 8.6 million cedis accrued since 2021. According to GRE officials, the enforcement action follows a series of statutory warnings, including an immediate demand notice served on January 7 and a final demand notice issued on February 13.
The authority initially intended to shut down the entire compound by sealing the main gate. The concession was made to avoid disrupting local workers and ongoing field operations. Following an on-site engagement regarding the company's challenges, which management noted included recent flooding on their operational plants, Electrochem made an immediate partial payment of 200,000 cedis. Assistant Commissioner of Enforcement at Accra Central Area Office, Joseph Annan, explains.
Immediately, they are paying 200,000, which is woefully inadequate. But like I always say, a bird in hand is more than a nine in the bush. So we are taking it. But then we'll still seal up the administrative block. And then we are giving them 7 days to do the needful, or come to the head office and have some engagement with our big men. Beyond that, we'll come back and seal off the main gate so that there wouldn't be any access at all to any of them, including even their customers. We're always friendly to our taxpayers, but then we keep our eyes on the ball.
The GRA has issued a stern warning to taxpayers who declare their liabilities online but fail to remit the required funds to the state.
They declare so much just to avoid paying per penalty, but they don't pay. And you go to tell liquidity challenges. Please, when you declare, pay. Because we have already started. We have been visiting some of them. And some immediately pay, not all, but something substantial, and then they come into some agreement with us. Now, when we come, you don't come and pay, and we come, we'll be forced to apply the interest.
To avoid public enforcement actions, taxpayers are strongly advised to proactively engage the GRA and honor their financial obligations.
That was a report on the Ghana Revenue Authority sealing off Electrochem's Ghana's administrative block over 8.6 million historical tax debt. And that's how we end Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyunam Haliga. Stay with us.